Wait. Is it not the same Inec chairman? Is it not the same MAHMOOD YAKUBU that told Nigerians to go to court in 2023 election when he selected Tinubu? Is it not the same man that was actually acting as if he was above everybody in course of the 2023 election? What really transpired between MAHMOOD YAKUBU and Tinubu recently is actually mind-blowing. For MAHMOOD YAKUBU to actually come out, the Inec chairman, for him to actually come out to make it known to the general public, he did not even say it within Nigeria. He said it in Europe. He said it in the general public that he will do everything possible to just stop the rigging of Tinubu in 2027 election. Nobody ever expected it. Nobody ever saw it coming. Nigerians were actually surprised when this man was actually making the move, even in the international communities, that he wants to stop Tinubu's rigging in course of the 2027 election and all of that. Is it because they actually wanted to sack him in course of this Tinubu regime and all of that? Is it because they want to take him off and bring another Inec chairman? Just stay connected to the end of this video. This man have said it all. He said he will not go without making sure that he stop Tinubu's rigging in course of the 2027 election. So I would like you to stay connected to the end of this video. If you can share the video as watching it, just want to share it. Share to different social media platforms. Let it go viral, and if you can share it, just like the video, like it, give it a thumb up so that it will be recommended for us. Just stay connected. I'll come back again.
Welcome you back to LAJUPOG Watch TV.
I don't have bad news for you today.
The home of religious gossip.
But you should believe the fight for Mohammed.
What is happening in the Christendom? Join now to make sense with LAJUPOG.
Hello my great and wonderful viewers, welcome back to LAJUPOG Watch TV. For those of you coming across this channel for the very first time, for those of you that are coming across this platform for the first time, just do want to click the red subscription button appearing in the video screen, and at the same time, just do want to click the notification bell icon. That's the bell icon, so that whenever we drop a new video in few hours time, YouTube will easily notify you. Will be the first person to be notified. Now, Inec chairman have caught Nigerians in surprise because it's normally news that Nigerians dislike this man with passion. A lot of Nigerians that actually mean well for Nigeria, they never want to see Inec chairman. If they see Inec chairman coming this way, they will pass the other way because he's an eyesore to them. They don't want to see him based on everything that he did in course of the 2023 election. Nobody ever wants to do anything with him. But come and see what is transpiring for the past few days. You know, it's normally news that Tinubu make it known to the general public that he wants Inec chairman to go on indefinite leave. And you know what an indefinite leave is all about? A lot of people are making it known to the general public that if he should go on that indefinite leave, he will not come back again. They will not allow him to come back. But I said that's not enough. Inec chairman refused to go on that indefinite leave. But Tinubu traveled out of Nigeria after that time, and he went to spend 12 days or thereabout. But before he come back, Inec chairman have already registered new political parties. He registered them, and Tinubu was very unhappy with this. And Tinubu, as at then, they be giving him the body language. They be giving Inec chairman the body language. They want to throw him out of office according to the report that is out there. Now, come and see the moves of Inec chairman. This man make it known to the general public that he will not leave the Inec office without doing the right thing. He said he will stop all the rigging of Tinubu, Akpabio, and the likes of others in 2027 election. Even if they want to throw him out, that he will make sure that he stop all their rigging. Come and hear what this man said. He said it all by himself. You hear things for yourself. So I'd like you to stay connected to the end of this video. And if you can share the video as watching it, just want to share it. Share to the social media platforms. Let it go viral. Share to groups. Let a lot of people get to know what is actually happening in Nigeria. Share to people in the diaspora. Let them know what is happening in their home Nigeria. Come and see what is going on. And if you can share it, just like the video. Like it. Give it a thumb up as you're watching it, so that it will be recommended for us. You know. A lot of people were actually thinking that the relationship between Inec chairman MAHMOOD YAKUBU and Tinubu is actually going to last forever and all of that, because based on everything that happened in course of the 2023 election, Inec chairman stood in out like a demon that was sent to terrorize Nigerians. A lot of people have been saying, they said Inec chairman will be the one that put them in the mess that Nigerians are actually at. They said it is not even Tinubu. They said Inec chairman is responsible for it, that is the causative agent of the suffering that Nigerians are going through in the hand of Tinubu, because I did pay that he allowed the election in 2023 to be credible, free and fair, and the election went in the right way. They said Tinubu will not have a chance of even becoming a second in course of the election. So they have already making it to the general point that Inec chairman was the one that selected Tinubu there as at 4 a.m. in the morning when everybody was actually asleep. Now come and see the drama that's actually erupting. You will hear from Inec chairman yourself. He said before he will be kicked out of the office, he will make sure that he do some things that will actually make sure that Tinubu did not have a chance of rigging the 2027 election. You hear things for yourself. What really transpired among them is actually mind-blowing. A lot of Nigerians have been waiting for this time, and the time has finally come that these two parties are not in good terms according to report. Now I'd like us to stay connected to the end of this video. You can share the video, endeavor to share it, and if you can share it, just like it. Let me play the video. You will hear from this Randy Peter guy that will be shouting for Inec reform, Inec reform, Inec reform for the past few months, but nobody was actually listening to him. You will hear a short clip from him, and during the video they will play you where Inec chairman actually make it known to Tinubu that there's nothing Tinubu can do 2027 election. There's no amount of rigging, that it will not work. Just stay connected. I'm coming back again.
If we fail to fix governance, we are just in a vicious circle of lamentations and complaints. Nigeria, we claim to be a democracy, and the hallmark of every democracy are free, fair, credible, and peaceful elections. Without people being able to choose their leaders, you can't call that a democracy. We can decide to call it anything else. And unfortunately for us, we have refused or failed to pay attention and fixing that system, which is the first line of accountability for public office holders. If you do not have a system where you can vote in people, and if they fail to perform, you vote them out, what is the deterrence for doing or behaving badly when you know there is a corrupt or criminal electoral process that you can weaponize and come back? So that is what we have. We begin. Why should somebody be talking about people, a governor bringing in a successor? Is it that the 10 million or so persons in the state do not have the ability to choose a leader? It is because our political system is structured such that we have strong men against the will of the people. So somehow, whether or not the people decide to sway this way, there is a structure that gives power to one person to be able to decide the fate of every other person. And Nigerians are not concerned about that. And if you do not do it now, at what point do we do it? You are complaining about inflation, insecurity, and whatever, the cost of living. The persons who put you in this situation are already prepared for 2027. So the question to every Nigerian is, what is then your plan for 2027? And nobody should say that the electoral process is okay. 2023 was a very clear example. We had 93 million registered voters according to Inec, 89 million collected PVCs. That is more than 90%. Less than 30 million came out to vote. Why are Nigerians not interested in that process? The professor in Inec, the Inec chairman, received 313 billion from the government and said, out of this amount, I'm taking 150 something billion for electronic technology, BVAS, which was the ultimate, supposed to be the game changer in the 2022 Electoral Act. On the day of the elections, the Inec chairman said there was a glitch. Gentlemen, does any of us here know why there was a glitch or what caused the glitch? And why should we not have further glitches going forward? So the entire arrogance of a political class that is corrupt is a dysfunctional electoral system. And if you fail to fix it, you are only postponing the evil day, because they find a way of getting back by 2027, you have 4 more years. You complain and lament, then you get to 2031. If you fail to do nothing, how many years do Nigerians want to spend on the street complaining and lamenting? It is either now or we continue to suffer. We must start from people identifying what exactly is the importance of that process. Do Nigerians realize that the collective destinies of persons depend on our decision to hold persons accountable? Because one of the things you will notice about Nigeria is that the persons in power are emboldened by the docility of the people. How many are the persons in power? How many senators do we have? How many reps? How many persons are in the presidency? Calculate all with the 36 state governors. So the question will now be, in Nigeria, the people in power and the power of the people, who should be greater? If one person can come out to boast and say that in so state by 2027 there will be no party or there will be no opposition, or by this time nobody can stop the re-election of this person, at what point do the 200 million or more victims of bad governance come together and say, by this time we want to end bad governance? Nigeria throws a lot at you. So the dysfunctionality in government makes you weak and uninterested. You are battling hunger, you are battling insecurity, you are battling a lack of health infrastructure. So everybody is struggling. There is little energy to begin to put into what you believe cannot be changed. So when you talk about having free and fair elections in Nigeria or good governance, some persons are completely detached from that reality. It will not work. They won't tell you, Peter, forget about this thing. And then again, again, there is the benefit of hindsight for NSAS. One of the only times Nigerian youths came out to agitate for the end of brutality. They were met with even more brutality. So by the time you step out to say, I want to do this, your mother, somebody is calling you, please, it's not your blood that Nigeria will be built on. Can you come back home? So there are many reasons, but my point is this. What is our other option? If we decide not to be interested, people have died. More than 150 persons are killed in Plateau. The flood has killed more than 200 in Niger. If you speak, we are going to die. So at what point do we now decide to sum up the courage and say, let's fix this?
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to welcome the European Union Election Observation Follow-up Mission to Nigeria. In the tradition of the European Union, the head of the Election Observation Mission also leads the follow-up mission ahead of the next general election, basically to monitor the implementation of the EU recommendations halfway between the last and the forthcoming general election. This is the third time that the present Commission is receiving such a mission. I recall that in 2017, we received Mr. Santiago Fisas, who led the EU Election Observation Mission to Nigeria's 2015 general election. Similarly, in 2022, we hosted Maria Arena, who led the EU Election Observation Mission to Nigeria in 2019. Today, we are glad to receive Mr. Barry Andrews, who led the EU mission to the 2023 general election. In 2019, the EU Election Observation Mission made 30 recommendations, out of which 11 were specifically addressed to Inec. 3 of them were classified as priority recommendations, while 8 were considered as general recommendations. By comparison, your 2023 report made 23 recommendations, out of which 8, that is 34.8%, require action by INEC, of which only 1 recommendation is listed as priority. The remaining 15 recommendations, that is 65.2%, out of which 5 were categorized as priority, require action by the executive, legislature, and the judiciary, political parties, and multiple stakeholders such as civil society organizations, the media, and professional bodies. The Commission has carefully considered all the 8 recommendations specifically addressed to us in your report. Action has been taken on aspects of the recommendations that only require administrative action to implement. Similarly, action is being taken on cross-cutting recommendations that require collective action between INEC and other bodies and stakeholders, while waiting for the conclusion of the ongoing legal review by the National Assembly on the recommendations that require legislative intervention. To this end, the Commission has prepared a detailed response to each of the 8 direct observations which we shared with you at this meeting. If time permits later, when we go into the working session, we can go over each of the recommendations as suggested by Mr. Andrews. I must add that your recommendations, along with similar reports from other national and international election observers, were the subject of wide-ranging consultations with critical institutions and stakeholders during our own review of the 2023 general election. The review report contains 142 recommendations for electoral reform. In addition, the Commission has published our main 2023 general election report over a year ago. The main report for the election, as well as our review reports, are already available from our website. As you are aware, election is a process governed by law. Many of your recommendations require the review of our electoral laws or the Constitution of Nigeria. For this reason, the Commission has interfaced with our National Assembly, including a retreat with the Joint Committee on Electoral Matters, the Senate and the House committees, way back in April in Lagos. On this note, I would like to appeal to the National Assembly for an expeditious consideration of the electoral reform proposal. An early passage of the law is critical to our planning for elections. Uncertainty over the legal framework for the election can unsettle the work of the Commission as election draws nearer. For instance, the Commission cannot conclude work on the regulations and guidelines for elections unless and until the law is passed. Similarly, we cannot proceed with the manual to govern the training of election duty officials unless there is clarity and certainty on the electoral legal framework. I am confident that the National Assembly is working on that. So we look forward to the next EU election observation mission for the 2027 general election. As you are aware, and as you said, Mr. Andrews, international election observation missions are deployed on the invitation of Inec. I want to reassure you that we'll continue to engage with you. Very soon, the Commission will send out invitations to the European Union as well as the Commonwealth, the African Union, and ECOWAS for the 2027 general election. We believe that the recommendations arising from your observation of our election and electoral process help to improve the quality of our elections and electoral activities. Let me once again welcome you to the Commission and welcome you to Nigeria. And let me also appreciate the support of the European Union through the EU support to democratic governance in Nigeria. I want to assure the EU ambassador that we will continue to deepen this partnership.
The hallmark of every democracy are free, fair, credible, and peaceful elections. That is the foundation, because it is a social contract where the citizens choose their leaders, and when they are dissatisfied with their performance, they can vote them out. If you fail to fix elections, there is no point of accountability. So we go through a vicious circle where people just continue to lament about bad leadership. They rig themselves back into power. They complete their 8 years. They rig another person who will become even worse. So if truly we want to be a democracy, it must be through free, fair, credible, and peaceful elections, because elections do not only bring governments, they give legitimacy to governance. That is why it became very important that, look, Inec and the electoral process and the judiciary have become the weapon fashion against Nigeria. We must put a spotlight on it. Since 1999, the current president is the only president who has not come out to talk about electoral reforms and free and fair elections, even though he prides himself as being one of the persons who fought for the June 12 MKO Abiola mandate, which was all about free and fair elections. 32 years later, Nigeria cannot boast of conducting credible elections. Even the late President Yar'Adua admitted that the elections that brought himself and the then Vice President Jonathan, he said they were flawed. We needed to improve on them. Unfortunately, he passed. But President Jonathan took it a step further to sign the 2011 Electoral Act, conducted the elections that were seemingly free and fair that brought President Buhari. Then the destruction of Inec and the judicial system began, and that is where we are today. And if we fail to fix it and they consolidate on what happened, the criminality we call elections of 2023, then we are done for as a country, because there is a template. The current ruling party has a pedigree. We have Lagos State to look at for the last 26 years. Nigerians must fix that system of accountability. Whoever that Nigerians chose, let it come as the mandate of the people. You cannot come through the window and claim to be sanitizing the house. No. The process of getting into power is more important than what you do with the power. That is why we are on this.
A lot of people have said that Nigerians have lost interest or in Inec.
Yes.
Inec itself is also saying that Nigerians have not lost their confidence in them. that is about the individuals, not about INEC. How do you react to that?
I think it is unfortunate because INEC should, the leadership of INEC should bury their heads in shame. The professor of INEC, the INEC chairman currently, his tenure will soon be finishing. In a normal society where there is a rule of law, the INEC chairman should be on a subject of investigation. And I say it with unequivocally. If you collect 300 and something billion to carry out one particular project, you said electronic technology will be the game changer. You needed about 150 billion and all of the position papers you did. Sir, on the day of delivering, you said the Senate result could pass through the server, but the presidential could not because there was a glitch. Sir, do we know what caused the glitch? Has INEC told us why we should not have further glitches moving forward? The politicians, have they come out to say, in the minimum, let us know why taxpayer money should be wasted in such a misadventure, and on the day of delivery it fails? Until date, there is no conversation about electronic tech. In fact, the 2023 election has not even been reviewed by this current INEC chairman who is about to go. And when you say the people do not trust the process, INEC data for 2023, total number of registered voters was about 93 million. Collected PVCs were about 87 million according to INEC. The total number of persons who voted in that election were less than 28 million people. Sir, why do more than 50 million people take the pain of registering, collecting PVC and are not interested? It's simple. Nigerians do not trust those processes or those activities we call elections. In the words of one of the African Union observation team that came in 2023, they say what we came to do was not election monitoring, it was a crime watch. Imagine leadership that comes from a process of criminality. How does the country move forward? And INEC is telling people that it's not about. So for us now, it is to plug the loopholes. If the judiciary had done what they needed to do, we will not be where we are. But unfortunately, the judiciary have decided to be a willing tool in the hands of the politicians. So we need to plug every loophole and ensure that there is less human interference, no matter who is running the agency, and then mobilize to protect your vote. But I personally believe that what will change elections in Nigeria is an electoral revolution. I mean, it has to become a national conversation. The issues of election in Nigeria must be raised to the level of a national crisis, because failure to do so will just allow us to be at the mercies of the politicians in government and persons who they install there. The act is clear, the guidelines for INEC are clear about how to appoint persons, but of course it's solely the prerogative of the president. Persons are saying that, oh, you may need to now amend the law so that it is not just the sole responsibility of the president, who will also be a participant or a contestant picking the umpire. But then again, to what extent can we really control the interference of people? Even those who may not be card-carrying members, by the time they get in there, how do you control their own activities? That was why it became important that, can technology insulate the process from human interference? And even when you raise all of these issues and say this person should not be a national commissioner, the person is a card-carrying member, what judiciary are you going to take the case to, sir? So Nigerians must wake up, because even now, the electoral reform, there is no political will from this 10th assembly to... If you pass electoral reform and do free and fair election, you are almost saying that 90% of the current politicians should retire and go out of office. So it will take a critical mass of Nigerians to wake up and insist that the right thing should be done, or else we continue in these irregularities.
If you are to ask to point one or two steps you think should be taken to achieve these electoral reforms, what will it be?
Occupy National Assembly. Nigerians must mobilize civil society, everybody who means well for Nigeria. As the Senate resumes and begins considerations, they will begin a public hearing and all of those calisthenics about trying to do this, because of course politicians will be politicians. If they give you reform A, they open a loophole by B, because you know you cannot have it all together. So everybody must, in Nigeria they will say men must mount. Nigerians must put maximum civic pressure to implement or express your right to peaceful assembly. Put the pressure you need, and then begin to look at the critical part of what part of the Constitution or the Electoral Act and the INEC guidelines, whatever that needs to be amended should be amended. And then of course there is the part of almost every case, every political contest in Nigeria ends up in the judiciary. Should the courts be choosing leaders for the people in a democracy? That is, we have shortchanged the will of the people. We can as well decide that the court should tell us who should be governors and senators. Let everyone go to bed. We have to fix this broken system, and it will take Nigerians waking up and realizing that our lives depend on the quality of elections and leaders we produce.
We talked about the judiciary. How would you assess the judiciary? Looking at 2023 elections going forward, how would you assess them?
In all honesty, I have said it severally that I do not believe Nigeria has a judiciary. The judiciary is an independent arm of a democratic government that is capable of dispensing justice for the state and not for statesmen. What Nigerian judiciary has proven to be is the legal department of any political party in power, where politicians and strongmen control whatever. You can see what is going on, where people become SAN through whatever means that they be. Spouses of politicians just move from High Court to the Appellate Court, then to the Supreme Court. Look at the case of Rivers State, for example. The president, that is a textbook definition of where Nigeria's democracy is. And a president in a democracy woke up and decided to suspend a legitimately elected governor. I'm not talking whether it is right or wrong, but before even the Senate that should ratified, he had already sworn in a sole administrator. The National Assembly that should ratify with 2/3 majority decided to use a voice vote. Now, the voice vote was used to uphold the illegality that was done by the executive. PDP governors approached the court, and for 6 months, the Supreme Court was unable to entertain a suit to determine the legality of a process until that 6 months expired and the governor came back in a so-called peace deal. So if you can see the tragedy of the three arms of government, you should know that Nigeria is in dire strait. Nigeria is in serious trouble. The judiciary that should be called the last hope of the common man has become the last hope of the uncommon man. When you see politicians in Nigeria today, we almost have a minister for the judiciary who is building houses for them, increasing their allowances and pampering the judges. A person who at the end of an electoral cycle will also be a defendant in their court.
Thank you for staying connected, my great and wonderful viewers. You can hear what Inec chairman is actually saying in this very video. A lot of Nigerians were actually surprised because they never said this coming. They should tell me that, let me say, as at 3 months ago and all of that, they should come to me and tell me that Inec chairman will be talking about electoral reform. I will say that it is a lie. That can never happen. But come and see what is actually happening. He even make it not in the European Union. He said he will be looking forward for electoral reform because he already know that he's leaving. And if this man can be successful with this electoral reform that I actually want to put in place, it's very difficult for Tinubu to actually do what he knows to do best in 2027 election. They grab this, snatch it, and run away with it. It will be very difficult. It was INEC that allowed all those shenanigans, all those electoral rascalities to be taking place right from time. But if this Mamo YAKUBU, because a lot of Nigerians they don't even trust him anyway, they don't trust him. They believe that the same man that can come out to tell Nigerians that Nigeria should give him a whole lot of money, over 200 billion and all of that, that I want to use to conduct an election, and at the end of the day, he came out to say that a glitch took place, and they asked him about the kind of glitch that took place. Is it a machine glitch or human glitch? What happened in course of the election? He refused to tell Nigerians till now, after taking a lot of money from Nigerians. Even the European Union gave him money, but he refused to tell Nigerians what really happened. Now the same man is coming out to actually talk about electoral reform and all of that, that he want to push the prayer to the House of Assembly that they need to sign the electoral reform or INEC reform or blah blah blah. They need to sign into law. Nigerians are saying they don't trust him. Some are even saying that it may even be Tinubu that ever send him, so that a lot of people will actually have more trust in INEC again and blah blah blah, so that they will know how to do what they will know how to do best in 2027 election that is forthcoming. They said this is one of the strategies of Tinubu, but a lot of people are actually saying that trailer have really passed between INEC chairman and Tinubu in any way. They said they're not in good terms, that INEC chairman actually wants to pepper him. That INEC chairman really wants to pepper him for actually throwing him out of office and all of that. And those are what a lot of people are actually believing at this very moment. But you can hear it from the INEC chairman yourself. For that guy to actually come out to say that, shows that maybe he really mean what he's trying to say as far as the electoral reform is concerned, or INEC reform or thereabout is concerned. Because whether we like it or not, he will not be the one to be deciding the 2027 election result and blah blah blah. He will not even be the one to anchor the 2027 election. Another INEC chairman might have come and all of that. But a lot of people are saying that Tinubu must not give us INEC chairman again. Because according to the report, this Mahmood Yakubu, he actually entered into that INEC office, INEC chairman office, through the influence of Tinubu back then in the regime of APC, when APC nearly started their regime and all of that. He said it was through the influence of Tinubu. So how do you expect him to actually play against the bidding of Tinubu in 2023 election? Those are what a lot of people actually said allegedly. Now, the same INEC chairman that they want to bring in place again now is coming from Tinubu, according to the report. They say it is Tinubu that want to choose the next INEC chairman that is coming. Now, how do you expect the person that Tinubu choose to actually come and work against Tinubu in 2027 election? How possible is that? Are Nigerians really sleeping? Those are the questions that a lot of people are actually asking. You can't expect a new INEC chairman to come and work against the bidding of Tinubu, even when it is Tinubu that actually put him there or selected him there. He will want to do everything possible, no matter what, to actually ensure that he satisfies the ego of his master in 2027 election. Now, a lot of people are asking for electoral reform and INEC reform, that Tinubu, which is the executive, should not be the one responsible for selecting INEC chairman into office. It should be a collective vote, that people should come out to vote, that some bodies should come out to vote. Since INEC is an independent electoral commission or blah blah blah, whatever they call themselves, they said they should not be selected by the executive, that it should be collective of different people's vote from different parties. INEC chairman should be voting to office. He should not be selected into office. The moment it's being voted into office, to be like that of South Africa, it will really be an independent body, independent organization. But once it's selected, it is a private organization that is dedicated to the ruling party. Now, I would like guys to drop opinion in the comment section on this video as regards this same thing that we're discussing, as regards how INEC chairman should be elected and not selected. What do you think? Don't you think that if Tinubu is successfully selecting a new INEC chairman now, the INEC chairman will do the bidding of Tinubu in the 2027 election, no matter how the election will be? The election can never be free and fair. It will be manipulated, and there will be some electoral fraud that will actually take place. Now, drop your opinion in the comment section on this video as regards all that was said in this video, and as regards the judiciary. I never wanted to talk about the judiciary. Randy Peter spoke about the judiciary in this very video. It is what the politicians in Nigeria want the judiciary to say. That's what they will declare in the court. It is even the politicians that are actually passing order in the court. It is not even the judge. They are the one passing judgment. It is not the judge again. We don't have judge in Nigeria. All we have in Nigeria court is politicians. Those are what a lot of people are actually saying. Drop your opinion in the comment section on this video as regards all that was said in this very video. As I'm going on there to catch another for you, share, follow me on my social media handles on Facebook at LAJUPOG Watch TV and LAJUPOG Entertainment, and on Instagram at LAJUPOG. Guess what, guys? See you in my next video, and bye for now.
I see the hot for my body, I say make I yarn you. Religious cause plenty day for body. Pastor with the line on top, be pastor for LAJUPOG Watch TV. Pastor with the bar, where politician with the do pass himself. Corrupt leader, all the while you waiting for church. All as LAJUPOG Watch TV.